Hello and welcome to this video where we are dissecting players. That is, we find their strength and their weaknesses and look if they can improve a lot. And today we're going to look at Frederic Decoster, a Dutch player, 41 years old, with a rating of 2300, who has 2 IM norms and would like to get the last one and 2400, or at least just improve. He is a member of the channel. Thank you for that, Frederic. And today we're going to look at 7 recent games he plays and try to find out where his strength, weaknesses in the opening, in the middle game, in the end game, tactically, strategically, and technically. That's sort of what this is all about. He's, of course, a very strong player with 2300, so it's not so easy to find glaring holes or mistakes. So we will look at the subtle things probably. Anyway, let's get into it because it's probably going to be a long video with 7 games coming up. In the first game, he is black against Eugene Rebers. And it's the first round of the Limburg Open in 2022. And this is the bird variation, that is sort of a reverse Dutch. There is no reason to play knight f6 first. You can always sometimes go to h6 instead. This is simply just the Dutch in reverse. And, well, it all makes sense. Rook here is probably can be a good idea. It's if you compare it to the opposite color, it's maybe black has a more sort of white has a better version as a black player here. In general, I think that players, I think I had a little look before going into this on Frederic's, and I think he needs something different against f4. But he's probably he has 2 small children, so there's not enough room to investigate. 95 is usually a good move. White is preparing e4 and is threatening to give a double pawn here and preventing this move. Here, black played this move, solving the problem instantly, but also allowing white to carry out his idea. And I don't like this move, to be honest. It's a bit too impatient. White did this, and here I would definitely prefer to be white, for sure. So I think even though black can maybe play c4, play some dynamic stuff, it's still, I don't know. Strategically something gone wrong. e6 I really don't like. I think if you go and play this way, you probably have to go for something like c4, but still, even after a move like c4, I would prefer to be white in the position. e6 and here, and this all makes sense. And here the problem for black is that the structure here sucks. And in general, this is something that you can only play if you're a real expert on this kind of situation. If you just sort of happen to land in this position by accident, you're probably going to do very badly, especially if you're a Sicilian player or an aggressive player. This is already something. This by the way, is probably a mistake. In general, white is not ready to fight here. He's trying to stabilize the position. So I don't like this move. And maybe you can probably play this move here immediately. I would definitely look at this. This move I don't like. This is what is the knight doing here? It's getting out of the way, yeah, but in general, it was simply better placed here on d7. So I don't like a knight d7. So this suggests already that in sort of complex strategic middle games, maybe Frederic doesn't always know where to put his pieces. This could be the thing because in general, black's problem is this pawn might be weak. If white can stabilize the position and just put a lot of pressure here or build up on the king side, he will be much better. And knight here is simply in the way of everything. So you could just play there, and then probably black's best would be to go back. So not the greatest move. This is how it turns out. F6. Okay, that's the right move here. You have to do something, I think. But anyway, white is of course better here. You could definitely argue for this move. Here, well, yeah. Thing is, you on e5 you would like to have c4, just shutting him down. But anyway, white is better here. He has better structure. He has a better ending coming up at some point. It's still not a disaster, but I don't know. And well, that's I don't know. They're moving around here. I prefer white. Can you play e5 now? Maybe you can. Let's see how it goes. Oh, now this move I don't like either. That's definitely wrong. You have to play in this position. You have to play this. By the way, I think this was the first tournament after a long break for Frederic, so he might be excused a little bit. And it did, by the way, the results ended up going pretty well. But this move is again so maneuvering with the pieces in close position. There's something here. I think he will be benefiting a lot from DM Talks videos. And this was a kind of a cool move. Queen d1, and now black has these guys here sitting, and the problem is this does not bring. There's no check in this diagonal anymore. So this does not bring any dynamics to the position. It just sort of highlights the weaknesses. Now the knight finally make it back. This knight is also coming. Yeah. There is some issues here, right? Oops. Sorry. Gotta get this engine off. Distracts me. Maybe. I don't know. You might take there. You can also go here. He's managed to get something. Still, ending up with this structure here is not a good thing. So. Is that really necessary? You can't take the pawn. Take on it. I don't know. A lot of tricks. But white has this move, stopping anything from happening. This ending, pawn down, bad pawn structure, unless there is a perpetual check, and there's no perpetual check. And white is winning here, of course. Yeah. And here I think Frederic resigned. Okay, that was not a good start. So it seems there are some problems in close position with because move like this is not IM level, and also this move are really if you want to become an IM, you have to insist on putting your pieces on good squares, and that is you have to fight very hard to get them to good squares. This is an important concept of good chess. So there's definitely something to work on here with the structure. And also, as by the way, I think you should find a solution against a move like f4 and all sorts of offbeat openings that suits your style when you're playing. Okay, let's get the next game going. Here we switch color, and Frederic is white against Henne Guschens, I think. I don't know how to say things in Dutch. And we have an open Sicilian, which indicate Frederic is an active player. This is the classical variation, Richter Rauser. And bishop b5 is a tricky sideline, pretty dangerous. I think black has to be very careful not to get blown off the board, and this is sometimes happens. And here I think this is a known mistake. It's just not a good idea to do this. White has a lot of options here. You might even go here, but okay, queen here makes a lot of sense. You're ready to get going. a6, and of course this helps nothing, and we got a castle on the opposite side. Again, it indicates white is not the kind of guy who likes to wait around. He's playing, and here comes f4. So white is basically threatening this move. He might also be threatening this, followed by knight here, because there is a check here due to the h6. So this is already dangerous. b4, solving the problem maybe. So you will have e5 square for the knight. But here comes a real shocker. Boom. And oh, that's good, right? That you can't take it. If you take it here, 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 you might just play rook here. You can also just move the queen somewhere and then play rook h1. I think this is pretty awful for black. But something like this, and maybe, and this is coming, and this is coming, and I don't see how you're gonna survive this. This is not survivable. You can't take that pawn, that knight. So she will have to do something else here. There is a check here somewhere. In his notes, he says that knight takes e6 is good. Should we look at it? Take an e5. That looks pretty good, actually. Notice that this is immediately killed by. Okay, he didn't see that. He took here instead, and e5. Whoa. So black got like, but of course there is always something like this bishop coming here, which is super annoying. Yeah, I don't know. Black just got blasted here. D takes, F takes. Yeah, indicates knight takes e6 is good as well. Bishop e take. Yeah, and you just gotta get killed. Pretty nice game. Okay, that was a bit too easy, I think, but of course that's a clear indication of white style. It doesn't. I don't see. I think white played great. Black was not ready for this. And this kind of tricky line suggests that that Frederic has got some ideas with white, that he's going to put black under pressure. And by the way, that's a good way to become much more dangerous, is to play active, aggressive chess, trying to put the opponent under pressure. That's almost always a good idea, especially since you don't need to know a lot of subtle things. You need to know some, but in general, just pushing is great enough to be 2600 if you're able to do it well, like an Azerbaijani player or something. Okay, next game. We switch again. Here, Frederic is black against Joachim Dunker, 2199. By the way, in the notes you can see D6. That's the C93 is that can be a little bit smart if you don't like this stuff, and if you don't like F4, Knight C6, Bishop B5 stuff, then you play Bishop D6 and Bishop D7. The downside is this move. And here this is serious stuff. By the way, what's going on here? This is strange. I think you can. I think Larsen sometime plays this move and taken back with the D pawn and won the ending, which is A6 looks interesting, also a little bit dangerous. Might go E5. Oh, what's that? That looks crazy. So what happens after he takes? And here, so the idea is to give a check here, and of course this check here is mate. But isn't there a check here? But then there's a check here. I don't know. If this works, then then there's this move. But even after something like this, so black got like one pawn for the exchange, and this knight gone sailing away, and this one is in trouble. Still, this is threatening actually capturing the rook. So you probably need to get a d6 in quick, but then you don't want to go here because the knight might be trapped. That's very unclear. Okay, he took, and in general you would like to do that, but of course the knight was hanging now, and this is a little bit scary because white is threatening this move here. D6, check, and here. Ah, that's a cool defense. That's nice. I like this. That was nice. Great play. Seems like Frederic is definitely a tactical inclined player who likes initiative and attacks and like to calculate a lot. Take here, take here. Okay, black is clearly better now. And yeah, that's a sensible approach. Maybe you can take with the king, but who will do that? And b4, and again we see that the solution with the most active solution is chosen. I kind of like this this way of playing. Yeah, and of course now you're not gonna take here and open files for the opponent and losing this pawn, giving him 3 pawns. You're just gonna go like this. Yeah, great. And put the pawns on black, and that's why that move. Oh, he's gonna put it here and attack here. and control the square. So black has 5 pawns versus 6 and 2 minor pieces against the rook. This means black probably has a very clear advantage. You just have to coordinate the minor pieces. Knight a6. There is a very nice square here. Okay. White prevented it. And he's just preparing it. Now he's attacking a pawn here. And this is nice chess. Slowly. And this ending, I must be winning for black. Of course, there are some issues with the, but you can stop those pawns. It's not going to be a problem. And when the knight comes to c5, all counterplay ends for white. There's only the ace pawn now, and this is totally lost. Black has taken completely over. This one is not. So that was a nice game with some nice features here. So it seems also with the other game that there are clear. There's very big difference if you get Frederic with in a close position where you have to maneuver and put your pieces on the right places, and in this sack kind of thing, or this kind of interesting unbalanced position. Cool. Okay. Let's get on with the next game. I'm gonna save it. And we switch color again. This is the Sicilian. Decoster is white. And this is a accelerated dragon. And he does not play with c4. So I think we can say with all certainty that that Frederic is definitely an attacking kind of player who likes to go for maximum activity and dreams of a kingside attack. Knight takes c6. I'm not sure that's necessary here. And I think in general, Frederic probably want to play queen d2 and f3 and play the Yugoslav attack, and rook e8 is a little bit annoying in that respect. Black might actually sometimes go with e6 and d5, I think. So he took here, which I think that's a little bit against his style, to be honest. Going for the ending. a4. Yeah. So why is playing a4? Okay, the idea is to probably pressurize here with this move and this move. Still, I'm not sure I like it so much. What about this move? Isn't that makes more sense? Restricting the pieces, especially this guy doesn't have a good play. Is he afraid of this move? This weakens this, but it threatens this. You can also just do this. Okay, a4 prevents b5 for sure. If white is allowed to play something like this here and here and here, he's probably much better. Clear space advantage and more activity. Knight e4 makes sense here. The problem is this. So the timing is a little bit off for white here. Unfortunate there, but on the other hand, there's something hanging here. Still, I don't know. What a mess. Can you play this? Could be, because you would rather play this move. Here he played this move, attacking e7, and Black played h6. So he's really playing in Frederic style. And okay, and I'm sure really like these bishops here. Still, this structure is not the best, and if the bishops are exchanged, like probably are, yeah. And okay, this one is still fine, and there are some weaknesses, but on the other hand, this is a bit annoying, right? So I don't really like this way white play this. Still, he might have some chances here. So the idea is to go here. Check. Oh, so okay, this ending after this takes. My microphone is surely slightly better for black. It's not winning. It's probably a draw, but it's definitely unpleasant for white with this structure, which definitely suits the knight that can sit on a lot of squares and will be hard to remove from anything when white has this isolated e-pawn. So I'm not really a big fan of this. It's probably a draw. So let's see how they go. F6. Yeah. Of course, if white could exchange the e-pawn for the f-pawn, then he would be happy, because then the bishop is rather strong with pawns on the opposite color. And h5. So far, they're all doing natural moves. It is probably a draw. The thing is, white still has, yeah. Anyway, a bit unpleasant to have to play something like this with white against a player you would like to beat. But this happens, of course. So especially if you're an aggressive player, you will run into things like this. I think it seems white understood what he had to do. He understood that he had to put the pawns on white to maximize the scope of the bishop and be able to attack and keep the king out of the position. If black somehow were able to penetrate with the king while safeguarding these pawns on, it's a little bit unfortunate for him that he's gotten 2 pawns on black, so the bishop will always have something to attack, and there's also this break. So all these things calls for that it will not be easy for white to play for a win. Bishop here attacking the pawn, and black keeps putting pawns on black squares, so he will not be able to sort of avoid the bishop having something to bite on. a5, interesting move. The trick here is after this move, you should be careful not to probably play something like this, because you will lose a pawn. But and this I like is that white probably saw that he had this move attacking the knight before he takes the pawn, and then it's fine for white. So sort of interesting situation. a5, good defensive move. Knight here and c5, and well, they are running for a draw pretty fast here. And white is just in time with everything and exchanging everything, and yeah. And here black offered a draw. A great game. Well, not a great game, but nice defending by white. You need to not lose these kind of games when you have sort of messed up. But I think this was probably wrong especially due to the style that we've seen Frederic is playing, that he likes to attack. Don't exchange queens when you like to attack. Then you should do something else. Okay. Here, Frederic is black against William Eugene, and we have a dragon. Okay, that was a bit like we suspected. Seeing the first games, that Frederic is an active player who likes to attack, and of course the dragon is a good opening for that. And it's also a good opening if Frederic is strong in theory. Then it's a nice opening because there's a lot of theory to learn. On the other hand, there are some problems with the dragon. First of all, you risk getting blown away without a fight if White got some nasty novelty with him. Second, it is a little bit of a junior opening. So what do I mean by that? I mean that it's mostly something you learn as a junior and you fall in love with. I did. As a junior, I played the dragon, and then you sort of grow up and learn to play different openings as well. And if you keep on playing the dragon, you're probably not gonna evolve enough other aspects of your game. You're always gonna sit with your bishop on g7 and be ready to sack the exchange here and so on. And that's of course a nice way to play, but it's also a little bit one-sided. So you sort of stop your development a little bit by playing the dragon too much. So I think all players would benefit from playing the dragon because you get a good sense of dynamics and initiative and exchange sacrifices and so on. But they should also quit at some point because it's not an opening for your entire career, especially if you want to become an IM. You can become an IM with the dragon for sure. You can also become a GM, but it might actually hinder your development. Okay. We have a Yugoslav attack, and with the bishop c4, not castle queenside. And here it turned out, White was bluffing. He was not going to castle queenside at all. Oh no. What? Well, that was Wimpy's, right? Of course, White can play this way, but then f3 and bishop e3 and queen d2 does not make sense much. This, of course, is good, and I kind of like this move as well for black. And here, okay, and knight c4. This is in general a nice trade for black, even though it costs some tempi. The bishop on b3 is rather strong, so it's pays to get it out of the way. Knight de2. It comes with a threat, and actually the threat is to play e5, and if take knight d5 and winning a piece. Sometimes you could do it with this, but when he has castle queenside, you got this check. So that's not a problem here, but it does threaten this, and it does stop any thing from coming. Anyway, I think the best move for black here is probably b5. And in general, if you play the dragon, you have to play it very, very aggressively. That's the way to play. So he did not play this, Frederic. He played a6 and e5, of course. And if you can't take that, and that's a known thing. Sometimes there's this, but not in this situation. But this pin is actually pretty difficult to get out of. So just this move, and due to the rook has gone away, you're gonna lose a piece. Might get some compensation. You probably will get some compensation. Still, it's this was not the idea. So black goes back. Still nice bishops and stuff, but the pin here is of course real. And knight comes up, threatening different kind of stuff. Especially this move is really and take here with check and things like that. So getting out of the pin, pushing the rook. Rook goes here. Knight goes away, renewing the pin. going back, f4, and I like the way white plays here, putting pressure on black, keeping control, and black is actually in some sort of trouble with his pieces here. If white can keep this knight here, he will be better. Still, I think Frederic is probably dreaming about getting these pieces out with activity at some point. And this often happens in the dragon. The dragon is a fierce beast. It's difficult to control it. This is maybe a little bit c4. Okay, and the trick is a typical something like this, and very annoying. Again, you have to be careful. Although, by the way, it's very easy to get blown away for the white player in these situations. Very easy. Okay, for black. So king h8, preventing all kind of nonsense with check here. Knight here. And well, here in general, black should exchange queens anytime, even though he's probably slightly under pressure because of the knight on e8 and this nice structure white has, and this pawn is a bit annoying. White will hold on to it as well as he can. Still, it seems right. Plays this move, and this looks kind of awful. White finds this move. That's a nice move. Getting the piece out. And the thing is, with the king here and so on, he cannot never take e5 and take with the bishop and so on. That would just be suicide. And going here, something like this is also good for white. Okay, so let's see how he defends. Bishop back. Not allowing any sort of structural damages to happen. And e6, again the same, but you also feel that this is a little bit of a problem, right? It seems that how is this knight going to get out? And since you can never really take because your black squares just become too weak, it seems like black is in serious trouble here. Rook here. So white's got dreams of this. I'm not sure. I'm sure the computer will hate a move like that. It just doesn't believe in these kind of attacks. But of course, in a practical game, it's unpleasant. Black tries to start some counterplay. Rook here. And yeah. This is not a nice position for black. So what happened? He played a little bit too passively, a6, and didn't exchange queens, and now you can do a lot of things here with white. What about something like just this move? That looks really, 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 really unpleasant. And this is after c5. I think white is strategically winning here. Something like this, and white is better on all parts of the board. And if not, something like this, I think you can just take back. You're ready for the huge attack here. And of course, you can never take e5. I think right here it just loses instantly to something like. Notice that this bishop here could be a big problem, but just this is already dead. Okay. Rook a3. White is an aggressive player. It's kind of strange to go castle, queens, kingside, and then just go for this. f5. And black is hanging in there, not dying yet. I think again c5 looks good. Okay, he wants to finish him with something like this. And I'm not sure he saw that. counterattack. Isn't this totally lost? Like, why can't just something like this and take e6? This must be totally lost. Bishop here. Okay, just keep this one down, but this is a bit clumsy. Still. Oh. And the threat now is probably this move, followed by this move, and queen h7 checkmate. So cover here. And d7, giving up the exchange. The question if you should take it, because in general, sometimes like this, where black, by the way, look at this knight. Okay, he took it, and he's threatening something again, probably. It's a bit strange. Okay, keeping the queen out. Knight here. Rook e1. Okay, I think white is winning, but yeah, you just have to avoid losing here with white. Have to just, okay, but let's see. Is that working? So, but okay, some chances. I think it's queen here. Strange stuff. Whoa. Ah, there is this move. So nice, hanging in there, not losing immediately. That's impressive. And now what happened is, but I think black is out of the woods here. You could give white probably have to give perpetual check. He allowed this one, and it was mate in one. So nice game. But of course, there are some things to consider here. Black got into a very bad position, and of course, it's very cool not to lose. That's a very good ability to have, not giving up, keep fighting, finding resources, not losing. But I think in a sort of in a learning way, it's of course necessary to think, why did this happen? Why did he played this sort of harmless move, and a little later I was totally outplayed. How did that happen? That would be a smart thing to ask yourself. Okay. And we've come to, and this is another game, and here, oops, Frederic is white. And I think he told us about this move. This is interesting. Just giving up this pawn and hoping to blast black away. Very interesting move. I think black has to take the pawn. He did not. And then came this move. Oops. Now you can't castle. Of course, white did manage to get out by without this move. That was nice. So that suggests that Frederic knows a lot of theory, actually. And black's starting to play really aggressively on the king side. F4. It would be nice to push that one in. Yeah, this h5 looks a bit dodgy. And this structure would not be so bad for black if it wasn't because white is ready to push the queen side very fast, especially with this move. So if black could just stabilize, put this knight here and this bishop here and this bishop here and so on, and the bishop here and the two rooks in the center and preventing d5, then you're fine. But this, the king is in trouble, and yeah, also b4 is coming and stuff like that. This is, well, he's just not in time. Yeah, I think great play by white here. And this is probably how Frederic would like to play. Sack, get a huge initiative and kill the prey. And that's probably a good style for him to play by, because he seems to be rather dangerous in this kind of situation. And here black is sort of, well, you can say this pawn definitely matters here, and putting more pressure on. And yeah, this is nice. Okay, we'll have to do something. Still, this is just losing. Problem is this guy can never come out, so this will always be weak. So yeah, and he has to give it up. Interesting to see if Frederic has the technique for this. This was a good move, of course. Gonna simply gonna go for the king side. Rook here, king back, keeping control, king coming to the center. This is the kind of thing I could be a little bit worried about for Frederic, because a lot of attacking players have problems when this kind of transformation happens. Staying on the white squares makes sense. That probably is a mistake, but I think white must be winning. And now this is the issue. Nice. Yes, bring the king first up and push the king, so the pawns will not advance too far. That's pretty smart. Yeah, just simply winning. That was easy. Nice game. No quibbles with this. This was pure I am beating 2100 guy. This was good. Okay, last game. Also, we're getting tired now. E3, what is that? G6. So, that probably some special system by Rick LaHaye, who's got 24-12. So he is an IM kind of strength. H6, that makes sense. Bishop d2. So white got some sort of accelerated mixed English setup. d6. Black is going for some sort of King's Indian. h3. So what are you going to think? It's probably a good solution by white, because it seems like Frederic could suffer a little bit in this kind of undecided structure. And that's kind of the problem with being a dragon player, is that if you get this kind of things, then they're not so easy, because there's no easy play. You have to find all the squares for your pieces. So far, so good. Knight d2, e5. Well, e5 cannot be bad. There you could argue for h5 here to simply, but you would probably be h5 before you castle. But so maybe here h5 or e5. There's no reason to castle yet. White can castle queenside also. Okay, e5, d4, knight d7. Makes sense. Rook e8, all the right moves. a6. So that is with this plan, and here I guess, or just to keep the knight out. I'm not sure I like it. Problem is that if you're gonna play c6, a knight gonna land here, and it's gonna be a problem here. So you have to sort of deal with that issue. And actually, it might actually here something like knight c6 might be, or rook e8 might have been, or not putting the knight here since the knight is coming here. This seems like I don't know. Okay, a6, and he immediately stops any kind of nonsense with c6, even though it's way out in the future. And a5. In general, when you play a4, a5, black would like to have his knight here and put it here and controlling these squares, which is in general in black's favor when white goes a4. But on the other hand, white's got nice control on the king side and it's ready for stuff like this. So I kind of like white's position, and I would definitely search for solutions before this. Okay, f4 and c6. I think you have to take here, to be honest. But I would be very scared here because even after something like this, and black is hoping to create some counterplay with queen b6, or sometimes to play d5 and f5. He will answer with g5 and hope it holds. It's a bit scary. c6. That is unpleasant. That's very unpleasant. Queen c7. Okay. Here, Frederic in his notes gives this move, f5. And to be honest, black is totally busted here. White is much better. This is a horrible position. Just all the pieces for black. White is just waiting for this guy down on here to get into the game. Okay, c5 also looks good. There are problems here, and white took here. And white could of course take back. That would not be so bad actually. Instead, he's decided to go for this, which seems to win a pawn, but on the other hand, it's also does make the position much more messy. Rook takes f4. Anyway, it's clear that black completely lost control of the after the opening and was not really clear on what was going on. So this is a clear suggestion for Frederic, for Anna, sort of looking at improving positional understanding in these kind of closed and semi-closed position, because it seems like, you can call it chess culture, you can call it what you like, but it seems like he has not seen enough games here. He's not been in enough of these tough situations where you have to make difficult choices. And in this kind of position like here, black really already here, black has to invest a lot of energy finding the right setup to counter this weird setup that's probably not so bad and could even sometimes be good. As it comes in the game, this setup just turns out to be perfect. So he didn't find a solution, and I don't know how much energy he invested, but it's definitely clear that this is where you can step in. Okay, he took on f4, c takes, queen d8, rook takes, knight takes, knight here. So white won a pawn, but you might be winning it back. And here there was a note from Frederic saying that white played queen f3. He should have played, and that's very concrete, queen f1. And after this move, yes, if you see something like this, and after this move, white has this move, which is really a big problem, because this is threatened. So white won a pawn. As it came in the game, he took here, he played queen f3, bishop g5, bishop takes, queen takes, bishop here, the same line, but here there was this move. And black got a lot of tempi here. So queen f1 was much better. And here this move is of course important. Black lost a pawn. Well, actually, he lost 2 pawns, but he got compensation. This pawn is under siege, and black has active pieces. And this is interesting. And black is already playing for a win, I think. So what now? And then I think black realized, okay, I can't play for a win actually. So he played this move. And here white made a mistake. Play this move, and suddenly, and I think he probably thought, okay, and black cannot do anything, and I will start giving checks again, back and forth, and we'll have a draw. And then black came with this move, and that threatens this move, which is of course some sort of a problem. And yeah, and you can't really move the king, because then this move. So after something like this, threatening the queen, more is threatened now. This is threatened also. So this and this move is threatened, and white's flag fell after this move. And white was a 24-12 player, so that was pretty awesome. But of course, luck was on black's side in this game. He was the opening was some sort of a disaster, which shows that I think Frederic has a lot of good openings, and but also that he can be tricked, because he does not know enough doesn't have enough common knowledge about different middle game structures, so he gets tricked into things he does not understand. On the other hand, it's very clear that he's very opportunistic and dangerous with tactical tricks and so on. So I think the end game is it looked like, when we saw, there was not much end games, but what we saw, it looked like the technique was okay. So the big thing to work on is definitely middle game understanding and getting to know more positions better. This is, by the way, a lot of players with 2300 who's got this thing. They played a lot. They have analyzed some openings, and they have some tricks. They are dangerous, but they can be tricked in the middle game into positions they don't understand by smart, seasoned grandmasters, for instance. A player like me, I would probably like to play against Frederic because I would find something where he would have to make a lot of decisions about where to place the pieces and not so much calculation, and that would be hard for him. Anyway, this was, I think, with a lot of work, Frederic can become an IM, but he will need to improve the middle game understanding for sure. This was DM Talks with a very long video. I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you for watching.